I'm still down there. I be down there beefing with everybody. Every gym. I beef with everybody. I'm in the league though. That shit got a green marble. Okay. Niggas will be like, yo, you wanted that green marble. I said, yeah. I be down there beefing with everybody. I don't mind coming through.
Yeah, and then you get the
What is it?
I beef with everybody. You be disrespectful.
You talking about
The drivers.
But
the work is definitely keep disrespectful. Go ahead.
all right, so
They don't do that because you know when you come down there, I get you out of there real fast.
Oh,
you a
Don't
top
do
loader?
that.
You a top loader?
No, I'm a clerk.
Okay.
Yeah, you be in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you.
Yeah. So when y'all come there,
I
I
was
get
with,
y'all
I was
in and
with
out.
Jay.
793.
It's some
I was
candies
with the
in
company
there.
Jay.
Oh, you with Jay?
And y'all really good.
I always treat y'all good.
But before coronavirus,
No, she do be looking out.
I ain't never seen you. You
I
ever
just see
seen
her
me?
face from somewhere.
You ever seen me in there?
What kind of truck you got?
I got a rider. It got. We're talking.
We gonna talk when we. Hey, all right, everybody. We gotta quiet down for a second. We got people time on the line. We gonna wrap once this food get here. It's 1:16. The pieces and stuff come at 2:00. But we got Byron here. Byron is what I consider a top dog. Everybody that has come, I consider a top dog. How long you been trucking?
I've been trucking since 24 years ago.
Damn, it been that long?
2019.
Get the fuck out of here.
Got my license in 2019.
How long from the time you got your license to it was when you got your truck?
I got my
'Cause you
first truck
hot,
that
fresh
first
out
year.
the gate.
Yeah, that first year.
Right.
But I got my truck the first year. Got my CDL in 2019. I went work for Snyder for about 3 months, really just to get my confidence up. And then I had my own plans after that.
Huh?
I had my own plans after working for them. So that's when I got my truck, 2019.
So Peanut was born into trucking. Alright. Dave took the corporate route. Got a truck later, 20 years later or so. Other Dave got his truck. What we 8,000, 30,000, 10,000. How much was your first truck?
10,000.
Right. So for all y'all that think y'all need so much money to get started, you don't. And then here's why I say it's easy to get trucks, because if you making between $5,000 and $8,000 a week, which is now, if you was in it a few months ago, it'd have been anywhere between $8,000 and $12,000. You can buy a truck every month. It's not difficult. It's just finding the drivers. What go ahead. What's your take on trucking? He's a real estate investor as well. The other day got a truck, then got into real estate. He was in real estate, then got a truck. What's your take on trucking from the time you've been in it to now?
I mean, trucking good. I mean, I can, you know, everybody got their own entry to the game, and I can kind of break mine down. You know, like you say, I was in the real estate first. You know, I buy properties and rent them out, and I've been doing that for a while, since like 2014. So I decided to get into trucking, you know, because I was a little stagnated in real estate. So I got my CDL. I started the course in the end of 2018. I went to this little school called CFI. I don't know if any of y'all know the guy, Gary, a little short white guy down in like Brooklyn. You get your CDL in like 6 weeks. So that's the program I went through. At the time, it cost $2 grand. You get in there for 6 weeks, couple days out the week. He really just teach you to pass the test. So you'll leave out of there, you ain't gonna know how to drive that well, but you're going to take your permit on your own. You can teach you the pre-trip. You're gonna learn enough to pass the test. You know, it took me 4 times to pass the test. That test was kicking my ass, you know what I mean? I kind of got there too quick. It was a little premature. But anyway, got my CDL, and my confidence wasn't up because I couldn't drive that well. So I said I can go work for Snyder. So I worked for them for a few months. I worked for another company called Ferrero Foods for about 1 month. Refrigerated work, man. I loaded them trailers, man. That shit was hard. That stuff was hard work, you know. But it paid a little better, you know. Snyder wasn't paying much money, but it was just really for experience purposes. So when I went to Ferrero Foods, you know, by that time I was like, you know, I'm about ready to do my own thing. So brought a truck from my buddy. I got friends that's in the business. So these guys taught me from the beginning. My take getting into the trucking game was to get your own authority, work for yourself. So I had friends of mine was mad that I was even going to work for a company, but them guys been trucking for a while. They all could drive good. I wasn't quite ready. So one of my buddies who told me to get my authority, because I actually started my authority in the end of 2018, soon when I started my CDL school. I was under the impression by the time I finished with school and my authority would have matured. But then I learned that your authority, even though if you get an MC number, you create your company, you started, your authority isn't officially started until you get insurance. So even though I started my authority at the end of December 2018, I didn't get my first truck insured until July of 2019 at this time. So broke my first truck for 10 grand. I was doing Amazon too, didn't have a trailer. You know, Amazon was cool. And my motor blew. Truck blew a rod, like Sean was saying. And, you getting in, I don't know anything about vitamins. I know about, a PM was new to me. You know, if you're not dealing with trucks, you know, you oil change, whatever the case is. I don't know what level y'all are in here, if y'all familiar with the truck and the new or whatever the case is. But
well, we had a mechanic come in and told us that, which I didn't know. As long as you change that bottom end every 4 or 5 years, which is like a $2,000 job,
Yeah.
it'll stop you from having to replace the whole engine.
Absolutely. I've learned that after my truck threw a rod.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
And I didn't even know until last week or two,
yeah,
last month or whatever.
yeah. So that's kind of my take on my stuff. Now, to answer your question, when you say, what do I think about trucking? The trucking industry is good. You know, it's a necessity-based industry. You know, there's always going to be a need for the service. And it's just something to get into and get to understand how it works. You know.
What's the biggest challenge you done had in trucking? And then after that, what's your take on drivers?
Okay, my biggest.
The reason I keep asking this because I want y'all to understand that the biggest problem you're gonna have is finding and keeping drivers. That's the bottom line. Trucks are easy to get, freight easy to get. You're probably gonna be drivers and having a trustworthy, reliable, available mechanic. But drivers is gonna be the biggest issue from my perspective.
I mean, that's been my biggest issue, retaining drivers. But I can say sometimes it goes hand in hand with the flow of the work. You know, if the work is consistent, and because you know you go through dry spells, this is a volatile business. So I mean, sometimes the work good, sometimes the rate's good, sometimes they aren't good. So, you know, when I got my work flowing, I can retain drivers if the job fits them. So, you know, when I market for my drivers, I like to be very specific on what I look for, depending on what the job entails.
Can I put in a side note so won't nobody be misled or misunderstood? Not that he's trying to mislead y'all. When he's talking about work available, he runs a tighter ship.
Okay.
He don't run nowhere but about Jersey.
That's all I do. Yeah, that's all I do.
So there's always work, but when you start talking about sending people across country, they gonna burn out. People ain't trying to really do that if they can avoid it.
Yeah, let me clear that up. When I say work available, it's work that makes sense to me, you know. And when you got your own authority, you running your company, you know, everyone has, because it's not one way to do this business. Everyone has, you'll find your spot that you like. Sean like to rip and run the road. My man Bill back there, he like to run too, you know. I'm a guy that's like, I'm only trying to do 250 mile radius, you know what I mean? That's how I run my company. You know, I don't send my trucks too far. We go from Maryland to Jersey. That's all I do, you know, and that's kind of my little thing I like to do. So when I say available work for those rates, that makes sense, you know what I mean? I like to keep my trucks close for maintenance purposes, you know, that's kind of my formula, you know.
Right. Which is good.
Yeah, that's my little formula. So, yeah, I don't know if I answered your question.
Nah, you answered the question. I want people to take it very serious. Because this is what happens. You go out and get a truck, right? And then you start seeing the money that you're making. And then you start piling all your money into buying trucks. Because you thinking you about to duplicate yourself. And this is a common mistake. That's why on my board, when I talk about getting a full year, at least, he talked about 2 years, which is even more than that. But you're going to want to at least see a full cycle, because what's going to happen, you're going to take all your money and buy all this equipment, which is easy to get once you get your first truck. then you're gonna start making money, and then you're gonna be looking like, well, I ain't got none. Because you went out and bought all trucks, and trucks were sitting 2-3 months before you got a driver. Then driver got in and tore that shit up, started costing you money, then left. Then I'll tell you another thing about drivers. You see these headsets drivers, that's what they do. A common characteristic of a driver, excuse me, I don't like when people eat and talking to me. A common characteristic of drivers is they like to talk a lot. So once that driver leave you, it's like you break up out of a relationship. When you talking to the other person, they ain't never did nothing wrong. You the new guy coming in. They ain't did nothing wrong. All the wrong is on what the other party did. That's the same way. So then this is a small business. Then they start bad mouthing your company. And then they start telling your business. Then all your shit out in the streets. You see what I'm saying? And drivers, I hate to use this analogy. Drivers is kind of like hoes. So let's say you only got 15 real pimps in the country. Then it's just a bunch of hoes just bouncing back from pimp to pimp.
Exactly.
That's what happened with drivers. Same game, different thing. They just bounce back and back and back, and then they just tell your business. And it's not, your driver is not as lucrative as you. You need to look at a driver based on driver numbers, not based off of your numbers. There is no other you. If you got to get a load there, you got to get it there because you understand the consequences of your actions. They don't give a damn about your load or your truck for all that. They'll leave that shit in the middle of the street and have done it. Left trucks on the side of the road. You know, somewhere getting high. Sold all the tires. Sucked all your fuel out the truck. You understand what I'm saying? So this is, there's untold parts of the game that people don't speak of. Smoking blunts riding through the scale. Get pulled over. Now your truck getting towed.
Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact.
You know, got a miniature by one of the speakers was supposed to come today, can't make it. Driver had a miniature. Get pulled over, don't ain't got the sense to hide it. Now that's on this company record. You know, aside from the money that it costs. So that's unseen parts of the game I want y'all to see before you get out there and get gun ho. Yeah.
So like for someone like working in like you saying, one truck, do you recommend like investing in like IRAs and good retirement savings and stuff like that? Like do you suggest to do stuff like that? To do stuff with your money further down the line?
I suggest you to buy property. Cause property ain't gonna give you no large cash on cash return or fast. Like the speaker we just had just cashed out over 100. I know several people that cashed out over 100 from dealing with trucks, taking truck money, buying real estate. Get some know-how before you jump into it, and don't be cheap with yourself. Pay somebody to show you how to do it, because you'll gain equity in property, but it won't necessarily gain you a whole bunch of cash flow. Trucking to give you the cash flow, the property to give you the equity. Then also, it's a book I read. It's called Life in There, and it talks about two people. One guy had a construction company, had all this shit going for him. Went and bought the jet skis, big house, all these tools, toys, and had a high cost life. Then there was another guy. He had a house paid off, car paid off. He had a coffee shop that was paid off, no debt. He used to help all the kids in the neighborhood, fix cars, teach them stuff, giving money to the church. He was considered a life in there, where he was working because he chose to, not because he had to. And the scary thing, the other day, we talked about regret and pain from regret and pain from discipline. You don't want to get old and have the regret of being. That's why you see all these reverse mortgages. Because people get old and they swallow their eyeballs in debt and they trying to figure a way out of it. What you want to do is find you a nice place to live that you're comfortable with, even though times change and neighborhoods change as well. Try to get out of debt as fast as possible.
And save your money, you know. Don't be too IRAs, all that stuff you was naming, that's cool, but you know, save your money, man. You know, build a good nest egg so you can make some good investments, you know what I mean? You know, and in my opinion, put your put it in your own hands to
That's
a
all.
certain extent.
I
You
ain't
know what
wanna
I mean?
cut you
So,
off.
you know, put it in your.
I already is learn how to do stocks yourself. He does stocks.
Yeah, so all that stuff, it's not hard to enter, but I mean, you just want to make sure, in my opinion, you know, invest your money wisely on things that you're familiar with. You know, some of them terms and all of these stocks and 401ks, you ask some people to explain that stuff to you, they may not really even know what it is. You know what I mean? They don't know what their companies are investing in. You know what I mean? Because it's really just your company investing in.
You should start by investing in the company you work for.
Yeah, if that's even an option, depending on who you work for. I mean, you get in this trucking company, you can't invest in the company you working for. You know, the company you working for, honestly, give you the skill set to be able to invest in your own self, to be able to duplicate the process.
About stocks, go buying stocks. If your company is a public traded company, go in the stock market, even if you cash out, buy stocks in the company you work for, like Amazon. You work for Amazon, it's on the stock market, buy it.
Yeah.
What's your line of work, bro?
I don't have a CDLs. I got a DOT. I work for ALS, American Lighting and Signalization, through G&E.
Okay.
I operate a bucket truck.
So what you do outside of that?
I'm in the process of building.
You coming from a wedding or something, or you just made a deal?
No, it's my.
I ain't trying to criticize you,
that's
saying you come
his
dressed
Italian.
up. I'm
That's
trying
how
to
he
see
come.
what's.
He's professional.
He's dressed to
Yeah,
impress.
he's
Right.
a professional dude.
I love it.
And you look good, brother.
I love
you
that.
look nice. Yes, sir.
Right,
Yes, sir.
that's no. I'm not trying to criticize you, bro. I'm asking that because the way you dress, I'm wondering if you have something. It's like, see how he in the real estate stock stuff. See how the other guy was in the real estate and had all of them internet businesses. I was wondering if you had something else going. In the beginning, we have everybody promote their businesses because we are here to help one another. So it could have been something that you're into that I don't know.
So my name Al Barker.
There you go. Bust it down.
Was once a 50% owner of Barker Home Design. We did interior design, decorating. We got an online business, BarkerHomeDesign.com, where we sold furniture for our interior design business. And basically, we paid truckers to do the shipping from Jersey, our vendors in Jersey, to bring it down through the whole East Coast. We supply furniture and stuff and do our business throughout the whole East Coast. I no longer am a part of this business, even though it's my namesake, it's named after me. But I have my own LLC clothing line, and I'm working on building up a consultation business where I help people register their LLCs in seconds. Without going through like the speaker prior, David spoke about Taylor.com. You can go straight to the IRS.gov and register your own LLC, get your own
Absolutely.
EIN.
With a Maryland Business Express.
Or if they don't want to do that, they can call you. Y'all take his number down. Because a lot of us drive and don't want to do all that.
Right.
I'm here to learn how to run a trucking business because I just registered several trucking businesses in the last 2 weeks. It got help people get their EINs for 2 trucking companies in the last 2 weeks. And probably more to come in the next 2 weeks. And I'm working on helping them get their, excuse me, y'all.
Take your time.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, bro.
Helping them to get their trademarks and build their businesses up. Now, I don't know nothing about this.
Yes.
Because again, I operate a DOT for a company that know everything I don't. You know what I mean? So I just drive a bucket truck. I don't even know anything about CDLs. My truck breaks down, I really don't know how to fix it. My big brother has a CDL. This friend of mine right here from childhood, Delshawn. You know what I mean? He drives, and a couple of my friends drive. One of my friends own a truck. I helped him start his company, and I'm helping him try to get his truck on the road. But I want to just gain more knowledge, so when I'm giving these guys information, again, I'm trying to operate my own consultation business. I want to be coming from a point of knowledge, like really know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Okay,
Yes,
what you doing? Is you standing for the second session?
Yeah, absolutely, I'm here for long.
All right, so you mind speaking because we got a broker coming at 4. By the time he get done, if you want to talk and tell them how they can set up their LLC and the MC and all that stuff.
I don't know anything about MC. MC, I only know how to set up your LLC and get your trademark for your business. Not necessarily like a logo. Well, you can get a logo if you want, but the easiest way I think is to just get for the cheaper price, trademark the name of your company there for nobody, and make sure you check it and make sure nobody else have it. So you got your LLC and your trademark, and it's all you.
Well, stick around for the next session. We're gonna push what you doing so you can whatever type of leads or people that I have access to, so we can start pushing your business. And you teach us what you know, and then the people that don't want to do it themselves, then they can pay you to do it. If you up for it, then we got a freight broker speaking at 4 o'clock. Now you can go out right after him, and then I'm going to the show downstairs. I'm shut down after that.
Yeah, comedy show right now?
Yeah, actually Larry down here. Where we was at? That's good though. I wasn't trying to punch you out.
He had a tax question. I made a question what to do.
Alright, so we got a female on the end here. I got another one was supposed to come. She dealing with something with a truck, and a lot of y'all probably seeing each other down the port though. It's a real small world.
It is.
I know. I try to tell y'all. That's why I try to warn people. I remember when I was wet behind the ears, and
I got a question. Do y'all ever deal with any hazmat free? I got my hazmat endorsements. I never really see that.
I don't really. I don't.
I do. It don't really pay that much more. That's what you're thinking.
Yeah,
if you're going to do tankers, there's a couple of ways in trucking where you can make money and stay home. Tankers is one. That's usually night work. You can make some decent money doing that with a day cab leased onto a company. I don't know many people who have their own authority that do it. Food pays probably the highest in my opinion as a company driver, and it's local, but it's going to wear you out so much that you might as well not even be home. And you got containers. Containers is day work off on the weekends, but if you really trying to go for the gusto, by the time you finish trying to sneak that night load in, and you getting home 10, 11 o'clock at night, and then you trying to be the first one in the port, getting up 4 or 5 in the morning. It's a balance you gotta have. But containers, food, and fuel are some of the things that'll keep you closer to home.
But that load board, does it display hazmat loads?
It will.
It will.
Yeah, it will. And once I learn how, I got a lot of equipment. I don't know how it works. Once I learn how to do this projector, we're gonna have a time where I sit down and do the load board with y'all. As y'all notice, I've been showing y'all less and less. I'm transferring off of, that was a tool I was using to gain y'all, to bring y'all here. And then as y'all here, then we'll start sifting through people. But I'm leaving that to the new guys. Wasn't nobody even showing race before I started doing it. I was the first rapper with the iPhone. And I'm telling you, wasn't nobody showing y'all that stuff.
That's a fact. You inspired me. This how I met Sean, from him just being transparent like he is. And I met him just seeing him on the gram, and I don't even have Instagram. I go do my man page and look at little stuff. I actually see him, and he was, even before I was looking for something to do. I see what he was doing. He'd post his loads. Every load he was running, he'd show the load and said, this amount going to New Hampshire, going here, and I'm seeing him living his life in between loads. So I'm like, damn, you know, that gave me some inspiration. So you know what I mean.
But you inspired me as well. This is what I call an elite-minded brother to steal one of his terms. Remember we was talking about how you missed the point. We grew our hands with our mind. It's a trip. But I will have a conversation with him. I won't have a conversation with everybody. I will talk to people, but for me to sit and have a conversation, you can tell if I'm intrigued by somebody when I start talking more as opposed to listening more, because then it's like, man, what a mess somebody else I can chop it with. Then I got all this I'm trying to get out. Then that's how it be. But these some serious guys coming ahead, and I hope y'all take advantage. And some of these, you know, if they up for it, that's into these different industries, pay them for that information. I'm not selling that information. What I'm saying is, people have paid the cost of trial and error. And they came here today as a favor for me to help y'all. But normally people is in between making money. So this is costing people time. But as I get it, I recycle it and give it to y'all. But if y'all want to deal with people outside of that, then just like him, he ain't gonna just form your company just out the strength. He gonna have to pay him. He ain't just gonna send you a driver because you 1-800-HUSTLER called him. And they paying up, what's up, man? I got a problem. What's the problem, young buck? Like I do. Then he straighten you out. He may have the exact answer to your problem. You know what I'm saying? So people is worth stuff, so pay them what they worth. Y'all want to ask them any questions? We got 2 more speakers. Bill the top dog back there. We got top female at but the space of trucking is changing. I got another female coming if she time permits, and the pizza coming at 2 o'clock. So we're gonna eat. Then the broker is here at 4, and then we're gonna find out. Y'all can break out y'all pitchforks and see why they've been get y'all on the rates and see what they saying on that, and if there's any truth to that. And if it is, be proactive and find out what we need to do to get the rates higher, so we won't have to complain, so we can solve the problem instead of talking about it. Y'all with it? Y'all got
Any questions? Anybody got any questions? No.
This off the top, it's like real estate type. Right? You say you been doing real estate forever.
Yeah.
What type of real estate you doing? Buying, hold,
I buy and hold. I buy and hold pretty much. Yeah.
You are like the Morgan, DC.
I'm a Baltimore guy, so I do everything local.
If you, we got people that talk about trucking.
Cut it out, Bill. You know what part.
If you want to get his number and call him, and then y'all work out whatever.
Yeah, I don't mind talk. You about to talk next, Bill. That was it, anybody? No other questions? I'll let Bill get up here and take the floor.
Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This shit on my
Thank
head.
you,
I
man.
appreciate you coming. I know it's a big deal for people to come out here and lend their time to me for y'all. So I hope y'all taking notice.